Hey guys, welcome to my RotaryCraft tutorial series, video 3, and in this video or episode or something, I will be showing you how to use the grinder and what to use it for, as well as some other stuff. But yeah, so something I should have shown in the last episode. This is a new little part. So the DC electric engine is quite noisy. Yes, I've turned the sound back up. I should probably keep that at like 50. But as you probably guessed by just kind of seeing what was going on there, by putting wool around a machine will reduce its noise. So it must be covered, well, with at least 3, I think. But so you can see normal annoying noise. Give it a second. There you go. Much better. And that goes from all machines. I mean, for some you might not want to do that, such as the steam engine, because the fire, you have to light underneath it. Well, might light that on fire. But I like how I have this chest here with wool in it, and I just middle click that block. But okay. So yeah, just a quick little thing. And okay, so before I get into how to craft the grinder and stuff like that, I also want to show, so you know what, might as well just show you instead of telling you. Just click this button, there you go. So if you want to transfer power instead of just having to put an engine right behind them or right beside the input of a machine, you might want to have that machine further away from that machine for various reasons. So, of course, there are shafts. And for the shafts, there are 4 main types. There's actually 5 different types, but I'll only show you 4 now. There's a 5th type that you will definitely not be able to get at this point in the mod. But, yeah, so the first type is wood. Wood shaft looks pretty good. And you also have the stone shaft, and the steel shaft, and the diamond shaft. And I'll show you how to craft all those. You also have gearboxes. So what the gearbox pretty much does is, to simplify it, it's pretty much, depending what it's set to, it pretty much exchanges speed for torque, or the other way around, and torque for speed. So normally they start as mode torque, and they have a thing that says the ratio and the damage, and yeah. Yeah. So there again with the gearboxes, there's 4 different types, so 4 different material types that you can make them out of, and yeah. So first, how to craft the shafts, and so just for the wooden shaft, it's crafted in the work table, and it is 5 wood planks, could be any type, and a stick, and that gives you 8 wood shafts, which is pretty good. And for the shafts, again, they have the green and the red block. So input, output, and again, if you want power to go upwards, well, you can place them down like that. And again, you have your green on the bottom and your red on the top, or if you do like this, you should have your, well, if it actually showed it, you would have your green on the top and red on the bottom, probably. And that goes for all of them. They can all be placed in their vertical position as well. So on to the stone one. But before you craft the stone one, you're going to need to make a stone rod, and you make that with just 3 stone blocks and a crafting station, or crafting table, and you get a stone rod, well, 2 stone rods. Yeah, and so this one you need a stick. I put the crafting recipe for a stick here because why not? If anyone does not know how to craft a stick in Minecraft, well, go back to PE where it came from, Pocket Edition, be gone. Back to that. We don't want you here. Okay. But if you do want to learn how to actually have to place stuff in a crafting table, please do, instead of just clicking on the recipe. Never mind. Okay, so the stone one, it looks like stone, of course. So, yeah. And for the steel one, it is a mount and a shaft unit. So this one's kind of special. So how you craft the mount is a 4 HSLA steel and 1 base panel, but you can use tin instead. And RotaryCraft does not have its own ores, as I've said before, so you'll have to use another mod's tin. And RotaryCraft does have its own type of tin ingot, and I'll explain why that's that later, because it doesn't have its own ore, so how could it have its own tin ingot? I will show that later. Yeah, so that's the mount, and you need one, and a shaft unit. I've already shown how to craft the shaft unit, but here it is. Showed it in the last episode, I think. Yeah, it was the last episode. Again, diamond shaft. And of course you're going to need a diamond rod. So you get 3 diamond shaft units. Well, not diamond rod, shaft units, I'm sorry. It takes 3 diamonds, 3 diamond shaft units. I don't really know why you'd want to make this one at this point. Steel is probably the most you'll need. Actually, scratch that. The most you'll need right now for like the engines you'll be using is probably the stone, but nothing wrong with steel. It's still pretty cheap. But the diamond one is not cheap, as it's diamonds. But okay, so on to the next part. So before I actually start crafting the gear, the gear units for the gearboxes, I'm just going to show how to craft the gears. So this is the wood gear. It is, well, wood planks in, well, a plus shape. Oh, and I have the circle around my cursor. Windows better not pop up and tell me I have an update. But okay, so the stone gears, and well, you probably guessed it. There's stone gearbox. There's going to be stone gears. So just like the wood one, it's 5. What did I say? Did I say 4 wood on the last one? No, it's 5 stone in a plus shape, and this one I think I said 4, but no, it's 5 in a plus shape. And you get 1 wood gear, 2 stone gears in this one, and I already showed the steel gear, but again, it's 5 steel in a plus shape. You get 3, and maybe you've guessed it. For the diamond one, it's 8. What am I saying? Well, my brain has just blue screened, but never mind. It is 5 diamonds in a plus shape, and you get 8 diamond gears. So that's quite a bit of gears, and they all have their corresponding gearbox types. Now on to the actual gear units. So for the 2X gear unit, the wood one, it is 2 wood gears, a stick, and, well, another stick. And they can be placed like this, but I prefer to place them like this because I feel like it. Then again, for the stone one, you may have guessed it, 2 stone rods, 2 stone gears. You get 1 stone 2X gear unit. And for the steel, yes, I do know that in the actual item it is shows a little 2 at the bottom there, but in item frames it flips everything around, so that looks like a 5. Like for the 4 and the 8, just ignore it. Ignore the item frames. But so yeah, that's the steel 2X gear unit, 2 steel gears, 2 shaft units. And so the diamond one, you only get 1 diamond 2X gear unit, but it is 2 diamond gears and 2 diamond shaft units. So still fairly expensive. And how you actually turn these into the gear boxes is by just, well, for the wood one, you put the gear unit you want to use, and you put, in this case, 4 wood planks of whatever type, and you get the wood, and this is in the work table, you get the wood 2-to-1 gearbox. And for the stone one, it's a bit different. You need stone slabs, so it's the stone 2X gear unit and 5 stone slabs. Yeah, and for the steel one, depending on the amount of common sense you have, if it is more than how much I have, you may have guessed that you will use a mount for this. But if you didn't, then you do have to use a mount. It's a mount instead of steel, just like the shaft. It's a mount, 2x gear unit, gets you the steel 2-to-1 gearbox. Now, for the diamond one, you may have guessed it, diamond 2x gear unit and a mount. And if you look, the temperature on the gearbox is actually dropped because it is becoming nighttime. That is the thing that happens. Oh, down to 15. Yeah, not too big of a deal, but it's a thing. And yeah, so as you may have guessed, there's multiple types of ratios of gearboxes. So 4-to-1, 8-to-1, and 16-to-1. Oh, that's weird looking. The number kind of looks like 6, 1, whatever. Yes, item flames flip stuff around for the 3rd time I've said it. But okay, so yeah, so how to actually craft these gearboxes. Now, for the 4x gear unit, it is a 2 sticks and 2 wood 2x gear units. And for the stone one, it is 2 stone 2x gear units and 2 stone rods. And that gives you a stone 4x gear unit. And for the steel one, it is 2 2x gear units and 2 shaft units. And yeah, and the stone rods for this one. And that gives you 1 4x gear unit. And for the diamond one, of course, it is 2 diamond shaft units and 2 diamond 2x gear units. On to the actual gearboxes. So the wood 4-to-1 gearbox. It is, well, the 4x gear unit in 5 wood planks at the bottom. That gives you the 4-to-1 gearbox. Well, the wood one. For the stone one, again, it's stone slabs in kind of that U shape, 5 of them, and the stone 4x gear unit. And for the steel one, be gone, bat. Leave me, please. Leave. Okay. And so, don't just interrupt me, bat. But okay. So for the steel 4-to-1 gearbox, it is a 4x gear unit and a mount. And that gives you the 4-to-1 gearbox. For the diamond 4-to-1 gearbox, it's a diamond 4x gear unit and a mount. And a 4-to-1 gearbox. You get diamond. Now on to the next type, speeding through this. Now, the wood 8x gear unit. Now you may think, well, it's going to be just two 4x gear units to craft it. Well, no, it's going to be a 4x gear unit and a 2x gear unit. I mean, it kind of makes sense. 4 times 2, 8. And then 2 times 2, 4. So yeah, I guess it kind of makes sense. Not kind of, it does make sense. Then, so yep, 2x gear unit and a 4x gear unit and 2 sticks. That gives you the 8x gear unit. And for all the other ones, it's the same, except using their material type. So for the stone one, 2x stone gear unit. Oh, and the phone is ringing. 1 second. Okay, I did not want to buy whatever they were selling, but okay. So back to the oh, my brain has blue screen again. Okay. Yeah, so back to the gears. So for the steel one, I think this is where I left off. It is the 2x gear unit and the 4x gear unit for the steel kind, and 2 steel shaft units, or just shaft units, and that gives you the 8x gear unit. Really, bats? Okay. And for the diamond one, you guessed it, diamond shaft unit, diamond shaft unit, diamond 2x gear unit, diamond 4x gear unit. There. Now, how to actually turn them into the gearbox block. You probably already used your common sense to figure this out, but For the wood one, it is this. For the stone one, it is also this. For the steel one, it is this. And for the diamond one, it is this. Those bats are annoying. Okay, so on to the final ratio of gears, the 16x gear unit. Now, you may have guessed, maybe, potentially, that it is a 2x gear unit and an 8x gear unit. 2 times 8 is 16. And as it is the same as all the other ones, except it's a 2x gear unit and a 8x gear unit. So you put the wood ones like that, 2 sticks, you get the 16 one. Stone one, 2 stone rods, 2x gear unit, 8x gear unit. Yeah. Get the 16. Be gone, bat. Leave. Okay. And the steel one, it's the 2x gear unit, 8x gear unit, shaft unit, 16x gear unit. And for the diamond one, it's the diamond 2x gear unit, diamond 8x gear unit, and 2 diamond shaft units. And there's also a second way of crafting them. It is using 2 4x gear units, and this might be good if you have some lying around, except you have to use 2 of the whatever shaft, in this case sticks. And so for the wood one, it uses sticks, 4 sticks, 2 4x gear units. And for the stone one, it's 4 stone rods and 2 stone 4x gear units. And for the steel one, it's 4 shaft units and 2 4x gear units. And for the diamond one, it's 4 diamond shaft units and 2 diamond 4x gear units. So, yep. And well, I'm just going to show these anyway because I took the time to put them in the work table, so I'm just going to quickly show them. Wood, stone, steel, diamond. And yeah. So I'm just also going to show you this. So this is the screwdriver. It is 1 steel and a stick and wood planks. And this is like the wrench in RotaryCraft, pretty much. A lot of tech mods have like a wrench or something. In this, RotaryCraft, in its case, has, well, a screwdriver. And by right-clicking on something like a gearbox, it rotates it. And for this, well, for the shafts, it does the same thing. But remember before how I said normally the gearboxes are set in torque mode? Well, if you shift right click on a gearbox, it's now in speed mode. So it'll now exchange torque for speed, pretty much. That these, by shift right clicking on them, it doesn't really do anything other than change their position. And if you can place these things upside down. So if you want to place a shaft on the roof, it does actually place upside down. Same with the gearboxes. So yeah. And back to the normal area. I think I covered everything. Whatever. I think I did. And okay, now we have all those gearboxes covered and stuff like that. So on to the actual grinder itself. So you're going to need to craft a new item for this. This is the saw. It is 1 HSLA steel gear and 4 steel ingots, kind of in like an X shape with the gear in the middle. And now to craft the grinder, it is, well, 2 saws, 1 gear, steel gear, 3 base panels, and 2 steel ingots. That's crafted in the work table. Now, while right-clicking on it, it gives you kind of the power, the speed, the torque, and that stuff, as well as this meter for this lubricant stuff, as well as you can click this little arrow here for recipes. There's a lot. And just, if you want, you can read this. You can pause the video and read this for a second. Okay. And this just gives you kind of the power. So required torque is 128 newton meters, and that's the required power total, that's required torque, and yeah. So, yeah. So also something else you're going to want to make is these cooling fins, and these do what you might think they do, exactly what the name implies. They cool stuff, like such as if I want to cool this stone block for some other reason, I place it there. You can see there's a blue block here, therefore it is cooling that block. So yeah, cooling fin, cooling a cooling fin. Okay. So this is crafted using 6 shaft units and 3 base panels, and you get 3 of them. But I have a second crafting table here, therefore there must be a second way of crafting it. And it is using 6 copper ingots instead of shaft units, and using 3 tin ingots. Again, RotaryCraft doesn't have its own ores. You will have to use another mod's ores. Yet RotaryCraft has its own ingots. And yeah, so I'll show you what to use this for in a minute. I'll get to what this is, the canola, in a minute as well. So I just have some very odd looking pipes that are doing special stuff right now, and some steam engines. So I have 2 steam engines here, and I have a shaft junction merging the power, and I have a wood gearbox and a cooling fin on that wood gearbox connected to the grinder. And now, as you remember, the grinder requires for torque 128 newton meters of torque, and one of these steam engines only produces 32 newton meters. And so by combining them using a shaft junction, that doesn't give enough torque. But if we have a gearbox set to torque mode, then we'll have enough torque, this thing will spin. And now, yeah. So gearboxes, they do accept lubricant, but for the wood one, that's not necessarily the fact. It will accept lubricant, but you know what, I should have lit the steam engines first, but I didn't. So while these are heating up, I'll just explain the canola. Oh, also in the last episode I said something about how if you heat up the steam engine without it having water in it, and then you place the pipe down, the water flows into it, it would explode. The only reason it turned out to not be true, well, in this version, because I remember having a survival world, and I had a steam engine, I heated it up, and I thought, well, I have the steam engine, I have the netherrack, I might as well heat it up now, and I went to go craft some water pipes, or liquid pipes, put it down, boom, and yeah, well, apparently that doesn't happen anymore, or maybe it used to happen, or maybe it never used to happen at all, and when that happened for me, I just somehow overheated it. Maybe it was placed beside another fire. No, that wouldn't do it. You know what? I have no idea what happened. I know it exploded, but whatever. There they go. So, you know, might as well just show the grinder first. So this thing, you can hear the wood gearbox is making kind of like a wooden noise if you kind of listen carefully. And you can see the temperature's going up. So for the wooden gearbox, even though it's making the noise that gearboxes make when they take damage, it's not taking damage, but it is heating up. And when this thing gets too hot, it will light on fire and burn. But by putting a cooling fin on top, see the cooling fin's 31 degrees Celsius, this thing will be cool as well, and it will not catch on fire, and you now have a gearbox. But if you put too much power into a gearbox or a torque, the actual gearbox will break, and I believe you can fix them by like right-clicking on them with a gear unit, but I'll fix it out later. Probably show it in the next episode. Usually these sections of my world I kind of do in all one video, but I'm not done that over there, so I'm just going to do this. This video is also kind of getting a bit long because of the gearboxes, but yeah. So you're probably waiting to see how this thing grinds ore. So you put the ore in here, and you can see it slowly goes up. And you can see over here, the power, the speed, and the torque are all there. And you can see the operation time is 17 seconds. So that means, well, 17.95 seconds, which means this will take, well, that much time to grind it. And you can see we have 3 iron ore flakes. Now in most mods, their grinder usually just doubles the ore, but in this case the RotaryCraft grinder actually triples your ore. So if you put a stack of iron ore in there, you'll be able to smelt each one of these flakes for 1 iron ingot. So lots of iron right there. Now, on to the second thing with one of them, other than crushing ore, what the grinder does is what just happened there? But it grinds canola seeds. And how you get canola seeds is you grow oil. Grow oil. What is wrong with my brain today? But okay. You need to plant canola. And you get canola seeds by just breaking grass, and you can just plant it down. The soil it's planted on must be hydrated or must be fertilized, or when it turns the darker color because of water. And it must be that to actually plant down the seeds, such as this. I do this. So you can see how this is unfertilized soil. I cannot place it on it until it is, in which case it will plant. He's hydrate already. But yeah. So by breaking these canola plants, let me just go to silent for survival. By breaking each one, I don't know exactly how much you get for breaking each plant. It's not a set number, but like for this one, I got 16, 6, 18, 14, 16, 8, 18. So you get quite a bit for breaking these plants. So, yeah. And they do have quite a bit of growth stages. So, you plant them down at first, they kind of look like that. For some reason this one's not hydrating already. I have my water, but yeah. So they have this stage. I don't know, but they have many stages of growth. More than wheat. But yeah, so you can grow quite a lot of canola. What is wrong with this one piece of farmland? But yeah, so as you saw, like just breaking those, like what? I have 8 there. I almost got 3 stacks. I almost got 3 stacks of canola. So good stuff. And by putting the canola in the grinder, it will grind it. Gotta be patient, wait 17 seconds. And it will, well, you probably guessed will make lubricant, but come on, grind already. There we go. So it produces the canola seed husk, and it produces, so there's this lubricant hose. You can't use a normal liquid pipe, you have to craft this special lubricant hose. I'll show that in a second, but so how much does it make per one? It's like, let's just re-break and place this grinder to clear it out. Why did I put that there? But let me just grab a bucket. So you can see the grinder can hold a max of 4 buckets in it. So you get 123 per canola seeds, and you get these canola seed husks which can further be processed for even more lubricant. I'll show you how to do that in the probably not next episode, or maybe the episode after that. But so this is what it does. You can't really use any other machine to make lubricant other than that. Oh, and you can also put a bucket here, and it will fill the bucket up once it has enough. So yeah, I think that's what it does. I think. Yeah, never mind. In the meantime, while that's just doing that, I will get myself a magic wand. For purposes, I will soon show. So, this is going to be a while, but yeah. So, I just had these reservoirs here, and so first on how to craft the lubricant hose. It's crafted just like liquid pipe, but instead of using steel, you use wood planks. So it's 6 oak wood planks and 3 blocks of glass, and you get 16 lubricant hose. And yeah. So just to kind of make this simpler, I just gotta make these infinite. Except infinite. You know, it doesn't want to be infinite. Well, actually, no, it's probably because I have the hose coming out the bottom and going up there, but yeah. So, let's do it now. Still don't have over 100 there, but you can just right-click on the reservoirs to get it out, but, or you can also right-click on the grinder with the bucket to fill up the bucket with it. Yeah. And so what you use this lubricant for? It has many uses, well, some uses. For the main uses, well, using it to fill up gearboxes. And you can see there's not any lubricant in there actually, but there, it's some. So by putting it in, wait a minute, can you not put, okay, I have just figured out that you can't put lubricant in wooden gearboxes. Interesting. But for all other gearbox types, I believe you can, such as, oh yeah, just, there's a lot of stuff in RotaryCraft, and I am hoping to cover every single one of them. So this is going to be quite a long series, but for stone gearbox, does it take lubricant? Yes, it does. So the wooden gearbox is really the only gearbox you can use without having to put lubricant in it. But for all other gearboxes, you should. I mean, for the stone gearbox, I guess it doesn't really matter because it's still pretty cheap just using stone. But yeah, if you hadn't guessed, without having lubricant in a gearbox, its damage will slowly go up until it breaks. And yeah, the things don't use a lot of lubricant, but yeah. So when you place the gearbox upside down, it actually has this nice little glass cover that keeps the lubricant in there. And yeah, so you just run your lubricant hose to that, or you buck it in by hand if you so do feel like it. And is this ready? No, it's not. But never mind. So yeah, that's the end of this episode, and yeah, this is the end of RotaryCraft. Be gone, bat. What is up with them? But yep, this is the end of RotaryCraft tutorial number 3. Off to go make the next one.